February 1st, 1959. Around 9 p.m. On a remote, snow-covered mountain in Russia, 9 hikers were preparing to sleep inside their tent. Outside, the temperature had dropped below -30 degrees Celsius, and the wilderness was completely silent. But then, something happened that no one has been able to explain to this day. Within seconds, all 9 hikers slashed their own tent open from the inside and ran out into the freezing darkness, without boots, without jackets, and without taking any of their belongings. What could have frightened them so badly that they chose almost certain death in the snow? If another person was outside, why were there no unfamiliar footprints? If a wild animal attacked, why wasn't there a single sign of a struggle? And most disturbing of all, when the search team finally reached the campsite days later, what they discovered shocked the entire world. But to understand this mystery, we need to go back a few days. It was 1959. A group of 10 students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute in the Soviet Union set out on a challenging winter expedition through the Northern Ural Mountains. The team was led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov. Every member of the group was an experienced skier and mountaineer, well trained to survive in extreme winter conditions. Their goal was to reach a difficult mountain peak and return safely. What began as an adventurous expedition would soon become one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. A few days into the journey, one of the members, Yuri Yudin, suddenly became ill. Severe pain forced him to turn back. At the time, he believed he was simply missing out on the adventure. But in the end, that decision saved his life. The other 9 members would never return alive. On February 1st, 1959, the team pitched their tent on a snowy mountain slope. They had dinner, took photographs, wrote in their journals, and prepared to spend the night. None of them could have imagined that it would be the final night of their lives. When the group failed to return on schedule, their families and friends grew worried. A search operation was launched. After several days, rescuers finally discovered the campsite. What they found was deeply unsettling. The tent had not been torn open from the outside. It had been cut open from the inside with a knife. It looked as if the people inside had been desperate to escape from an immediate and terrifying danger. A trail of footprints led away from the tent toward a nearby forest. But the footprints raised even more questions. Some hikers had fled barefoot, while others wore only socks. In temperatures far below freezing, no experienced mountaineer would willingly leave shelter like that unless the danger inside or around the tent seemed even more terrifying than the deadly cold. Not far away, beneath a large cedar tree, searchers found the bodies of 2 hikers. Nearby were the remains of a small campfire, suggesting they had desperately tried to keep warm. Sadly, the freezing temperatures claimed their lives. Over the following days, the remaining bodies were discovered in different locations. Some appeared to have been trying to make their way back to the tent, while 4 others were found deep inside a snow-filled ravine. The medical examinations made the mystery even stranger. Some victims had died from hypothermia, but others had suffered devastating internal injuries. Several had multiple broken ribs, while another had a severe skull fracture. According to forensic experts, these injuries were far too powerful to have been caused by a simple fall. One of the female hikers, Lyudmila Dubanina, was missing her tongue. While this detail has fueled countless conspiracy theories, later forensic experts concluded that natural decomposition and prolonged exposure to snow, water, and scavenging animals could explain the missing soft tissue. It is not considered evidence of anything supernatural. Investigators also discovered traces of radioactive contamination on some of the hikers' clothing. This finding sparked even more speculation. Was there a secret Soviet military test taking place nearby? Had the group witnessed an explosion? Or was there another natural explanation? Decades later, these questions continue to be debated. Over the years, countless theories have emerged. Some blamed aliens. Others claimed mysterious creatures or paranormal forces were responsible. However, none of these theories has ever been supported by credible evidence. Today, the explanation accepted by most scientists is that the hikers were likely threatened by a small slab avalanche or an unstable snowpack. Believing their tent was in immediate danger of being buried, they quickly escaped through the side of the tent. Once outside, they found themselves trapped in complete darkness, violent winds, and life-threatening cold. They became separated, lost their way, and ultimately succumbed to the harsh environment. Even today, several questions remain unanswered. Why did they leave in such extreme haste? Why couldn't they make it back to their tent? And how did some of them suffer such severe injuries? Perhaps those answers will remain forever buried beneath the frozen mountains of the Urals. That is why the Dyatlov Pass Incident is still considered one of the most mysterious, true events in modern history. If you enjoy real-life mysteries and unexplained stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more fascinating documentaries.